Hi, my name's Robin Story. I'm a ghostwriter specialising in life stories and memoirs, and today I'd like to talk to you about the process of writing my own memoir. Writing my own life story or memoir had never actually occurred to me until April 2015 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Then in that anxious week in between when I'd had my biopsy and when I was waiting for the test results, I suddenly thought to myself, hang on, I'm a writer. I should be writing all this down, keeping a journal. So that's exactly what I did. And somewhere along the way, I decided that I would write a memoir about my experiences of diagnosis and treatment of breast cancer. But, there are a million cancer memoirs out there. And so I wanted to write it from a particular point of view or have a particular theme in it that perhaps wasn't so common. So I investigated all the memoirs that I could see on sites such as Amazon and found that there weren't a lot of books written from a humorous point of view. I guess, it's hard to find humour in something like breast cancer. But I'm lucky I've been endowed with a very quirky sense of humour and I can always manage to find humour in every situation. So I decided that I would write a memoir, the theme of it being how humour had helped me to get through the experience. So rule number one to remember if you're writing your own memoir is that there definitely still has to be a theme, something that everything hinges on. And it's not just an account of your experiences and your thoughts and emotions. That has to be a theme running through it. And the other thing to consider is I didn't actually start writing my memoir until I'd finished my treatment, because I think it's necessary to gain a little bit of distance from the experience before you can write about it, because that's what gives the book its resonance, makes the reader empathise with you, in that you have to be able to look at how has that experience or that time of your life changed you? How did you grow as a person? What was the end result? How did your life change? And this is often something that you can only really look at after the experience is over and you've had time to reflect on it. So this is the book here that I ultimately wrote, Making the Breast of It, Breast Cancer Stories of Humour and Joy. So it was a really fun book for me to write, because not only did I talk about my own experiences, but further on in the book, I talked about the experiences of some other breast cancer survivors that I had either met in person or met online or read accounts of their experiences on blogs. When you're writing something that's humorous, it's always nice to be able to poke fun at yourself. And that always brings a lot of humour into it. And that was something that I was able to do throughout the book. I was able to poke fun of some of the things that came up in my mind. And one in particular that I'll read out to you from an excerpt was, it's just a demonstration of how irrational your thoughts can be sometimes based on the emotions. Even though my diagnosis was early and I had an excellent prognosis for recovery and have actually now since completely recovered, inevitably a diagnosis like that brings up thoughts of death and, what would have happened if it hadn't been picked up early. And it does make you suddenly very aware of your own mortality. So in this vein, I was thinking about what would happen if the worst had happened and I did end up dying. And I'm going to read you an excerpt of what I was thinking about in terms of what would happen at my funeral. A glimpse of your own ending is not something you want to dwell on. A few years ago, I attended the funeral of a friend who had died of a brain tumour at 53. The church was packed. People were standing in the aisles and spilling out all the doors. Anxiety gripped me. No way would I have this many people attending my funeral. I'd be lucky to fill a quarter of the church. Was the number of people who attended your funeral a measure of your life's worth and the impact you had had on the world? If so, I had some serious work ahead of me. I needed to embark on a campaign to be more sociable and make new friends, i.e. going out more, maybe joining a few clubs, doing more at-home entertaining. Then, having made these new friends, I'd have to keep in regular contact. Friends you've known for years, which comprise a good part of my social circle, don't care if you only phone them once every 3 months. But new friendships require much more maintenance. Robin who? I only met her a couple of times. She died? I won't bother going to her funeral. The whole process of planning a jam-packed funeral sounded much too exhausting and time-consuming. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You won't care when you're dead. Of course I was aware of that all along, but that just illustrates the irrational nature of our emotions. In the end, I decided that the stress of making and keeping new friendships would probably lead to my early demise, which would be tragic if I hadn't achieved my goal of 100 new friends. And if it looked as if attendees at my funeral might be a bit light on, the organisers could always hire professional mourners. As a part of October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month all over the world, the day that I'm recording this is the 1st of October 2020. My book, Making the Breast of It, is available for half price up until the 5th of October. So if you happen to be watching this video before the 5th of October 2020, click on the link below in the comments and that will take you to your favourite ebook site and you can buy this for half price. So that's my account of writing my memoir. If you're thinking of writing your memoir or you just want a bit of advice as to how to get started, or if it's all too hard and you want someone else to do it for you, please contact me. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to be able to talk to you about how I can help you. So click on the link also in the comments below and that will take you to my website. And then you can put in, click on the big green button, put in your name and address, email address, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible to set up a time. So happy reading and I'll talk to you soon.